Welcome back, everyone. I'm coming to you again with quite another enormous announcement. In all the research that we've been doing lately, in the midst of this viral panic we've all been going through, in combination with years worth of research that we've been doing, and not only the things that we've been sharing with you lately, but also this enormous discovery that came upon us just recently in the midst of this as well. Time is of the essence here, and you are about to discover, like I did, a much deeper meaning of divine timing. This is quite synchronistic. So let's jump right in here. The mind-blowing discovery I'm going to share with you in this short video series, I originally made privately. This discovery occurred on the day that we commonly call April 1st of 2020. I'm blessed and honored to share this with those who are able to see. And I'm almost certain what I'm going to share with you here, no quote-unquote common man or woman has seen in perhaps thousands of years. With love and truth, I share this with all of you who are able to see. Thanks for being here. I'm Shannon. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the season of Lent, or the season of sacrifice, as it's also known. This is perhaps what is known as the most holy time for practicing Christians, specifically Roman Catholics. And this specific time frame has a lot to do with what we've talked about in our previous videos recently, so you can catch up there quickly. But this took us in quite a different direction, and because of the enormity of the discovery that we made, we have to jump right in here and share it with you. As I said, time is of the essence, and it does tie in here. So what you're looking at here on the screen, I want to orient you to, and in this first part, you want to stick with us here, because as I'm going to unfold the story, it's going to unfold over a couple of different video pieces, but it's all going to be worth it in the end. So stick with it here in the beginning. I'm just going to provide you some orientation of what you're looking at here in the screenshot you're now looking at on the screen. This comes from a program you can find online for free called Stellarium. And this program is such a powerful tool that aided in this discovery, and you can use it for yourself very easily for free to, in real time, verify this discovery for yourself, and you can see how the software works to see this in real time, at least a representation of what you would see if you looked up, if you went outside your own door and looked up in the sky above you. So what we're going to do here is take a look at Stellarium so that I can have it help us show you this enormous discovery. What you're looking at here is a screenshot of what the sky looked like on the date we commonly call February 26th of 2020 at exactly midnight. Now, remember from previous videos that the date commonly called February 26th of 2020 corresponds this year to what is known as Ash Wednesday. And just to catch everybody up, Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of the 40-day season of Lent, or the season of sacrifice, that Roman Catholic Christians in particular practice. It is to mirror the 40 days in the story that Jesus was in the desert, where he experienced the last temptation of Christ. He was tempted by the devil. He was preparing for his public ministry. He was out in the desert fasting and praying. This leads up to, in the story that we're told about Jesus, his crucifixion and then his resurrection then on Easter Sunday. And that is the end of the season of Lent, or otherwise known as the season of sacrifice. This is the holiest time of the year for most practicing Christians. So that's the date we're going to start with, what is commonly known as Ash Wednesday at midnight. What you're going to look at here is a very particular area of the sky. And for this entire video piece and every piece that follows, we're going to only focus on this particular area in the sky. What I'm pointing your attention to is right here is this red line that you can see going across the horizon from east to west. This red line is known as the ecliptic or the zodiacal belt. It's so called because, as you can see, starting at the eastern horizon, at the bottom there is Libra, and then you go up the line, it's Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus. These are known zodiac signs, and these are the constellations that are always traveling around this red line known as the ecliptic. As well as these constellations that travel this line, you will also find the path of the sun, the moon, and all of what we are commonly taught are planets. They all circle this line known as the ecliptic or the zodiacal belt. So that's what the red line is. The green line that you're looking at, if you face due south, so from your perspective, you face the south. If you are exactly at the southern viewpoint and you take an imaginary line, draw it from the Earth's horizon up to the sky, you're going to run into a star called Polaris, otherwise known as the North Star. And that is where you're going to find due north, so also known as the North Pole, being on Earth directly below it if you go as far north as you can here on Earth. Okay, so these are the 2 points that we're looking at. The green line is called the north-south meridian line. The red line crossing it is called the ecliptic line or the zodiacal belt. We are only going to keep focused on this particular area of the sky, and I want you to notice right away the shape that this red line is forming to the Earth. You're going to find out what the real meaning of the all-seeing eye really is. All right, so this very special area of the sky, we're going to first take a look at one constellation, a very well-known constellation that when we're looking at this picture here, you're going to find almost to the edge of the western horizon, and it's a huge constellation, very well-known, called Orion. This constellation is very well known, very recognizable by most people, even if they've, not been any expert in stargazing. A couple of other things to know, at least one to start us out with here. A fact about Orion, as many people know, is that the 3 belt stars in this constellation are found to be in perfect alignment with the 3 pyramids in Egypt. The pyramids of Giza line up perfectly with the 3 stars of Orion's belt. So those are a couple of things I want you to take note of here as we get started. Now, as we're starting to look at how the sky looked on Ash Wednesday at midnight, or what we commonly call February 26th at midnight, focusing solely on the constellation of Orion, I want you to see what happens to this constellation in the sky every night at midnight over the 40-day period that we call Lent or the season of sacrifice if you're a practicing Christian. So this next slide here shows the date commonly known as March 26th, 2020. So a month into the season of Lent or the season of sacrifice. And notice that every night, the constellation of Orion is going to descend more and more below the western horizon so that it's not visible above the Earth's horizon, in other words, at midnight throughout the season of Lent. In fact, the 40-day season of Lent, you can see, is going to be important for this reason. This next screenshot is still looking at the same exact area of the sky. What we're taking a look at now is the date commonly known as April 11th, 2020, the day before what we commonly call Easter. As you can see, it's going to be the last day. In fact, it's at midnight, so the start of the new day. This is going to be the last day that any star in the body of the constellation known as Orion will be visible above the western horizon. And as you can see, this last slide takes us to the date commonly known as April 12th of 2020, this year corresponding with the day most practicing Christians are going to celebrate as Easter Sunday. As you take a look at where Orion is located on Easter Sunday at midnight, there is not a star in his body that is now going to be visible above the Earth's horizon after this day going forward. And when you think about, and you can watch this back, take it back, or even go on Stellarium for yourself and do this in real time for yourself, setting up the same date parameters, same time parameters, you can watch Orion's path at midnight during these same 40 days. You can clearly see then how a story to go with it about a season of sacrifice would make sense if you're trying to tell a story to describe what you're seeing in the stars above your head during this time, right? Let's end part 1 there and pick it back up to show you even more astounding evidence in part 2 and more.